know if we're on. Hello? Don't know what's happening. I'm not sure if we're on. I'm going to go ahead and go because it looks like it might be recording, but it just did some weird thing I've never seen it do before. But I'm going to go ahead and go. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Shannon Hudson. I have been with Young Living since 2007, so I've been around for a minute. And today we are going to be talking about your healthy blood sugar. Like, what should it be? What's happening? How do we keep it there? What is the cycle? What is it affecting? And how do we make sure that we keep it strong and healthy? So we're going to go over all of that. Before we get started, I'm going to grab a few oils and I'm going to put those on. The first one I am putting on is peppermint. Peppermint just makes your thoughts more clear. They help us to wake up and be alert. They help so we remember things a little bit better. So since we're going to be going, I'm going to be talking really, really fast. I need to remember all my stuff, but if you've got peppermint around you, grab your peppermint. Breathe it in, let it help so that you remember all the stuff we're chit-chatting. I do want to let you know that the recording will be up. You'll be able to share it with other people. You'll be able to watch it over and over and over and over. So if you feel like I'm going too fast for you, it's okay. You'll be able to watch the recording and make sure you say hi. Tell me where you're calling from, where you're listening in. Are you on replay? Are you with me live? And any questions you have. Like if I say something, you're like, but I don't understand. Type it in there because I always go back and I look at the questions. So even though I'm not really good at watching the questions while we're live, I go back and I answer the questions. So ask your questions. If you have used something that has been really effective, share it with the group because you may be talking about something I didn't even think of and it might be something somebody else needs. So make sure you share that. Ask your questions. Feel free. There's no wrong question. You don't have to worry about asking it wrong or compliantly. Just ask your questions and I'll answer compliantly. How does that sound? Okay, so I first want to explain, first of all, I am not a doctor. I do not play one on TV. I am just a mama, 4 kids who are all grown, got grandbabies. That's all I have. And I'm just sharing my experiences of things I've gone through. So some of you guys know I was in ICU and had open heart surgery and on a vent for 3 months during the whole COVID thing. So I went through a whole lot, and during the process, they actually gave me, via some of the medications and the steroids, I ended up with blood sugar issues. And so when I came home, I wanted to have that healthy blood sugar. Like, healthy blood sugar is so important. I don't think, although we talk about diabetes and we talk about, maintaining and taking care of, we don't talk about the importance of keeping our body strong and healthy so our blood sugar is doing what it's designed to do. So I don't know if you know, when we eat food, whether it is fats, proteins, carbs, whatever kind of food, we're eating it to get a few things out of it. We eat food because it gives us nutrients. We eat food because of the vitamins and minerals that are going in. But the primary thing that we're doing is for energy. It is for fuel. So inside every cell in your body, every single cell, you have these little mitochondria. And the mitochondria are, think of them as your fireplace. Inside the mitochondria, there's a little furnace. And that furnace takes the fats that we eat and it burns it for fuel. It takes the glucose that we eat, the carbohydrates, and it burns it for fuel. It doesn't like to use protein for fuel because it actually takes more energy, more fuel to burn the protein than it does to get the protein out. So that's not one of its favorite fuel sources. It will use it if it has to, but it's not its primary. So what happens is when we eat food, our body breaks it down into these teeny, tiny little pieces. And I'm going to be going over a class on your microbiome and the gut-brain axis so that you can really understand how it's breaking down and being absorbed. But that fuel gets broken down into smaller pieces and our body uses it and it goes into the mitochondria. And when we eat glucose or carbohydrates, so when I say carbs, I want you to understand that is from a potato to an eclair to a grape to a salad to greens. Those are all carbohydrates and our body uses them the same way for fuel, all of them. And in order for that fuel to get inside the mitochondria, it has a covering and it has receptors. And this is the little receptor. And so when I eat food, my body with its innate intelligence kicks out insulin to take the glucose, the carbohydrate broken down, and it partners. So here's insulin, right? And it grabs on to the carbohydrate and it takes it over to a receptor and it acts like a key so that it can now put the carbohydrate into the mitochondria. Then your mitochondria goes, ooh, yay, and it takes the carb and it puts it into the furnace and we get fuel. A little bit of energy. A little bit of energy. And that is, so it needs a key. Insulin is the key to opening that receptor to take the glucose out of the bloodstream and put it in. And this happens every time you are eating a carb. So I am not here to say carbs bad, carbs good. I'm telling you the mechanism of how we absorb to get the fuel. Because if we don't have the fuel, we're tired. We don't have the energy. Think about your vehicle. When you don't put gasoline in the vehicle, it will stop. It doesn't matter how much you have to do or where you got to go or where you are. When your gas tank is empty, the car stops moving. I want you to know that your body is the same exact way. When the fuel source can't get in, we stop. We have no energy. We don't want to do anything. We can't think. Our brain is foggy. All the things. And it's fuel source. So carbohydrates of all kinds, that's how they work. But if you eat a fat, like say you have avocado or you're doing the almonds or you've added all these good healthy fats that everybody in every magazine and every TV show is telling us about, eat the good fats. The reason why the fats work so well for fuel is because that mitochondria has to have that insulin to get it in there, right? But with fats, the outside of the mitochondria, the cell, the outside of the cell is a lipid. It's a fat. So fats are easily absorbed so they can get to the furnace. And they also burn higher fuel. They burn a higher heat. So you have a carbohydrate gets in the furnace and you got some energy. You have a fat that gets into the furnace and you got it is double. And we know that. We know that when you're counting calories, we all know the carbs are 4 calories and proteins are 4 calories and fats, they're higher calories. And that calorie, I just want you to switch it. 4 units of energy, 4 units of energy, then all the energy that comes from our fats. And so when they get in there, they burn hotter, they burn faster. Now, I'm not saying we need more of one or more of the other. You do your diet, you figure it out. What I want you to understand is how it's working. I want you to understand that most of the people that have type 2 diabetes, now type 1, I'm not talking to you guys, I love you, not talking to you really about this because that's a completely different mechanism. It's happening because of a different reason. It's happening because your body attacked, your immune system attacked your pancreas, and so now your body is not kicking out the insulin. So you don't have any, you have to get it from an outside source. Different mechanism completely. But you can control, have a little more control of the amount of insulin that you're having to get on a regular basis by the same basic steps. So some of those basic steps, what's happening. So I want to go there for it. I don't want to jump ahead. I want to explain. So this is supposed to happen. We eat, our body says, ooh, we need this much insulin. Insulin gets kicked out because your body can tell right from the taste from what we're eating. And the insulin comes, it grabs that sugar molecule, that glucose, it takes it in, and it's trying to get in. And what's happened is because we are in a different universe now. We used to eat once a day. We used to eat when we could kill the prey and we would cut the prey and we would all eat and the whole family would eat the moose together and we would eat that day, and maybe the next day we wouldn't because we were scavengers and we would go out in the spring and we could find all the berries because that's what was available, and we would eat the berries and we would feast on the berries, but we didn't eat 24 hours a day. Right now, all of us could right now united call and have food delivered to us in 30 minutes. And we can do that 24 hours a day. So we are getting fuel source all day long. And most of us, we're getting more carbohydrates, more sugars than we should be getting. And because of that, our cells get resistant. So here's the cell. It has to kick out a receptor for the insulin to put the key in for my glucose molecule to get in to go into the cell, right? It has to do it. But what's happening is the same concept of your kids are on the swings and like, Mom, watch. Mom, watch. Mom, see what I can do? See what I can do? Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom. I'm on the slide. Mom. Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom. And you could be talking to a friend and totally white noise that out. You have heard "Hey Mom" 52,000 times in the last second, and you don't even hear it. It gets white noise, right? And your friend's like, did you hear your kid? And you're like, oh, because you're resistant to it. You've heard it so much. Same thing with, bad news, good news, all the things. You hear it all the time, you get resistant to it. You love those chips, best chips you've ever had. Oh my gosh, I need more chips. Then you eat half a bag, and you're like, yeah, they're okay, but you keep eating them, but you're not getting the same excitement from it. You get resistant to the flavors. It's an overload thing, and that's what's happening to the cell. So often we're putting food in, and it's accepting until it just gets resistant. And the insulin goes, hey, I've got a molecule here for you. I've got one, let's do it. And it's like, no, go see somebody else. I am full. I don't have room for any more. And it becomes resistant. And that's what we call insulin resistance. That is the metabolic syndrome that people are talking about. All of those things are intertwined. It doesn't matter what anybody's calling them. It is that the cell itself is resistant, not accepting the insulin. So sometimes it isn't even that you're not making enough insulin. Sometimes it's just that the cells are like, no more. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do it. And it slows down. So one of the first things that you can do is shorten the window that you're eating. Like this is intermittent fasting. We're doing a whole series on it every single Monday. You can jump in on those series. But this is shortening the window so your cells have a longer period of time to wake up and kick out a receptor. So when you do eat, it's willing to now let the insulin put the fuel in and get a little energy. And why do you care? Why do you care about this right here? Because this is that cycle. People get into a cycle of their blood sugar being high, but they're tired, so they don't want to do any of the things, but yet they're constantly wanting to eat because their cells are still starving. There's still no energy. You're tired because nothing is being burnt for fuel. You have no energy because nothing's being burnt for fuel. But actually, we have type 1 diabetes, pancreas broken. That's a whole different thing. Type 2 diabetes, the vast majority of people with type 2 diabetes, it isn't genetic. It's lifestyle. Huge. And now we have type 3 diabetes. And this one's still a little, some people say yes, some people say no. But type 3 diabetes is where the brain, the neurons are not getting, the cells in the brain are not getting that fuel to burn. And so instead, our memory is going. We're losing bits and pieces of our thought process, and dementia is on the rise. And what if it all relates back to this? And that shorter window, that's going to be for everybody, a shorter eating window. And just even if all you did is went down to 8 hours. So you had breakfast, you have your lunch, you have your dinner, then you choose not to eat until breakfast again the next day. Tiny little things. So keep in mind, I didn't tell you what to eat. That's between you and your nutritionist, you and your doctor, you and your own research. But what I'm telling you is we have to give the cells a minute. Like when mom hides in the bathroom just to get away from the kids for a minute because she needs a reset. Your little cells, they need a reset. And there's lots of different things that you can do to make your cells more sensitive to the insulin. So remember, it's tired of it. It's like, I don't want no more. But did you know that movement, just getting up 20 minutes a day and moving till you're breathing deep? The word aerobics literally means in oxygen. Getting your body in oxygen makes the cells more receptive. The cycle of ATP, which is our energy currency, that cycle wakes up and needs more fuel, and so it gets the cells more interested in burning the fuel. So that's one of the things you can do. Get up and start moving. And if you're like, Shannon, I can't do 20 minutes at one time. I just get so winded after 2 minutes. Because I don't know where you are. I don't want to judge you. Then set a timer on your phone. When I was in the wheelchair, that's what I did. When I had to move. Just because I couldn't go walking didn't mean I couldn't move. And so I would set the timer to go off so that every hour on the hour I would do bouncing. So in the wheelchair, bouncing, moving my body up and down to get that lymph system pumping, to get my cells moving. And then when I was able to get up and start doing stuff, it was 1 minute. I would get up, I would make a little round around the house. I had these little weights that I had by the couch. So anytime a commercial came on, I pumped. I just did whatever I could because it makes my cells more receptive. A body in motion stays in motion. The one thing you don't want to do is lose that motion, that movement. So there's a bazillion videos you can watch online. If you want to do it with somebody else, you can watch so many YouTube videos to do it. But get up and move. It will make your cells more sensitive to the insulin that's already there. Again, I'm not talking about people that have type 1, although exercise for everybody is good regardless. Manage your carb intake. If you are like a carbivore, you're like, I have to have bread, I like my fruit, I like my pasta, and I'm telling you, the reason you're craving it is because you're in a cycle. You're in this cycle of no energy, and your body's like, but I need energy, I'm tired, because your body knows what it needs. It knows, so it sends a signal for you to eat. It's actually through a hormone. It's called ghrelin. And the ghrelin, think grrr, hungry. Ghrelin kicks out to tell you to eat and slow down. Don't do anything. We don't have enough energy. And then its counterpart is leptin. And leptin kicks out and goes, oh, I am full. I could not eat another bite. Like you hear somebody say they could only take a bite or two of their dessert. You're like, I don't even understand that concept. Or, they had a couple of bites of soup and they're content. That's because their leptin is working. Their body says, oh, I don't need anything right now. Thank you. And they can take one bite and be totally content. That's leptin, because leptin goes in and says, I don't want anything, and let's go for a run. Let's go for a run. And I'm telling you, when you can get your ghrelin and your leptin in alignment with you and working in tandem with you, it changes that hunger and that window of shortening how long you're going to eat. It will increase the leptin, which is I'm full, I don't need anything, and I want to go do something, and it will lower your ghrelin. It's fascinating, and it will give you that little bit of an energy going on, so you'll get out of that cycle that is happening. So shorten that window. Make sure you are moving at least 20 minutes a day, and better if you could do a little bit in the morning and a little bit before dinner. You'll see some changes because that leptin will kick in, and when you sit down to dinner, you're more content quickly. And the reason you're content is the leptin says, I don't need any more, but also because the cells are letting the glucose in, and it's taking the glucose out of the bloodstream and putting it into the cells where it's supposed to be. It's fascinating. Like, y'all can look it up. Do you realize that, like, if you have a blood sugar level of around 200, that is only a teaspoon free floating of glucose through your entire body? That's a teaspoon. Like, we have some control over that. We get to choose. So that's one of the things, fiber. So fiber bonds, if you're going to have carbohydrates and you're going to do your pasta, then go for, it's called a Fiber Full, I think is the brand of it. It's a high fiber protein. So when you're a high fiber pasta. So if you're going to choose pasta that's got a high fiber content, because the fiber slows the absorption so you don't have the overwhelm like at the park. Hey mom, hey mom, hey mom, hey mom, hey mom, hey mom. You don't even care. That's what's happening to the cells. When it's a slower absorption, the receptors pop out easier so the insulin can take it in. So it's going to slow the absorption. You should be getting around 30 milligrams. You should be getting fiber. You should be getting around 30 grams. There it is, grams of fiber. And that's to help with that. So this isn't just take a fiber blend and drink it. This is learning to incorporate it. So if you're eating something that doesn't come with fiber, there's great ways you can add fiber to your meal. So you're having your salad, which is going to have some fiber on it, and sprinkle on it some ground flax seeds or some chia seeds, because that's a brain food at the same time with the fiber in there. Very good sources. They're going to clean out the gut itself. Throw some pumpkin seeds on there. Throw walnuts on there. You're making a soup. You can throw those different things in with your soup or on the top of your soup. Just making sure that you're eating foods that have more fiber. So if you have a choice between a plate full of pasta or a plate full of potatoes, which one is better? They're both carbs. They're both going to be digested the same way, but your potato has more fiber in it. Also has more nutrients in it. It comes with all kinds of different nutrients. So again, I'm not telling you to eat pasta or to eat potatoes. I'm telling you, if you're going to choose a carb, choose one that's higher fiber. Partner it with something that's got that fiber, and then partner it with something with good healthy fats. The healthy fats, again, they slow the absorption and they partner with that food so you feel full faster. It makes you feel satiated is the word. You just feel full faster and you stay full longer. Fats are really good at making us feel content for a long period of time. So you can go 3 hours without eating before you have your dinner or your lunch because they help you to feel continually full. Some other things, drinking your water. I talk about that every class. I'm not going to hit that. But staying hydrated. But especially people that have their blood sugar is out of alignment. Making sure you're getting enough water is huge because your body tries to rinse out the excess glucose by taking it through the kidneys, and we urinate more. That's why frequent urination goes along with people whose blood sugar is wonky, because the body is like, dude, we got to get this out of the bloodstream, and it filters it through the kidneys, and the kidney starts dumping it into your urine. So that's why you feel so thirsty. But when you're feeling thirsty, if you grab for a soda or you grab for a sweet tea or you grab for an orange juice, all you're doing is adding more sugar into an already sugar overloaded body. So make some changes. Make sure you're drinking water. Like, you can listen to any of my videos and you'll get a big deep thing on what water does. But I want you to understand it needs to, especially if you're trying to have that beautifully balanced blood sugar. You need to make sure you're switching. So if water isn't your thing, you can do things like Zevia is a soda, Zevia, that is pretty clean. It has no food coloring. You can get it caffeinated, non-caffeinated, all the different flavors. But it is sweetened with stevia so that your blood sugar doesn't elevate. So if you're one of those that you're like, oh, Shannon, you don't understand, you can also, we've got our electrolyte drops. I can't believe I didn't bring any in. That you can get our Young Living electrolyte drops, and you can squirt it into your water so it's got a good flavor, got a little bit of electrolytes going on, and you can just drink those up. And again, we've even got caffeinated and non-caffeinated. Just the idea is we want you drinking water so your body can rinse it out. So you're going to make food adjustments. You're going to get your body moving. You're going to start eating in a slower window. You're going to make sure you're getting your water going on. Controlling the portions. This is, I'm telling you, one of the simplest things that I have added is I measure everything. And I know right now you're going, oh my God, I don't want to measure everything. Well, I started simple. I got myself a set of, my serving spoons are actually measuring cups. They're long, they look like ladles. And there's a quarter cup, half a cup, full cup, so that I'm not sitting there having to go in depth. But if we're having soup, I know that my stomach should only be able to hold 2 cups. That's what my stomach should hold at a time. So do the math on that. So I can add those together, and I know that I need good protein. So you start with your protein on your plate first, and then the rest of it should be all kinds of different veggies. You should have a plethora, eating from the rainbow of your veggies, because it gives you the fiber. And then on top of it, I sprinkle some chia seeds. I sprinkle, because you can't taste them. They're ground chia, and it's going to be brain food. Just little bibbits, because that also gives the fiber. It slows the absorption. So those are just things that you can do in addition to. And I want to explain right now. I haven't told you to buy a product yet, right? So it's not, everybody wants to just take a pill and fix a problem. Like, this is not how that is. You partner with whatever your doctor's doing, then tweak and make changes in your lifestyle. And all of these little tiny changes will make it simple. So I don't want you to try to go through and go, you know what, I'm going to go on a straight water fast from today on, or any of those crazy things. Just do little things. Just adopt some little things. Some other things to think of, I'm going to say manage stress, because stress causes cortisol. Cortisol causes insulin problems, and it also makes us want to eat. And that's a whole nother class. You can go to my videos and you can see on stress what you can do for stress, because we live in a very stressful world nowadays. I'm just saying, apple cider vinegar. I don't think it gets, I think it goes through phases where everybody and their brother's talking about it. But just 1 or 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and a little glass of water before bed has been shown to lower your H1C. H1C. I'm saying it wrong. has been shown to lower your, oh my gosh, you guys, what is it called? It lowers your numbers, so your blood sugar is better over long term. And that's a very inexpensive addition. Now, I like my apple cider vinegar with mother in it because it's alive, it does different things. But you just put in a little glass of water, put your apple cider vinegar in that, drink it down straight, then drink a little bit of water, swish it around so that you don't have that apple cider sitting on your teeth. But if I can do something that simple to help keep my blood sugar balanced, yes, that is a no-brainer right there. It's easy, and people will say, but I don't like the taste. Did I say you were taking it for the taste? It's not a hot fudge sundae. This is something you're doing for your overall health. It's something you can do, and it only takes 2 seconds in your mouth, so it's not going to be there forever. Increasing that fiber, that lowers your good Lord, I can't remember what it's called. Somebody's going to comment for me. And then chromium picolinate. So chromium is a mineral that your body really has to have, and it helps to balance the sensitivity in that cell, so it's more sensitive to the insulin that your body already has and is making. So, and again, it's not a Young Living product. It's something you can go online and grab. It's something that should be a part of pretty much everybody should be getting it on a regular basis. The cool thing about it is if your blood sugar is perfectly perfect, it's not going to take it down too low. All it's doing, it's not a drug. It's making your cells more sensitive. So it will go do other mineral type things if it's not needed for that. So and it's inexpensive. You can get them for like $15. It's a really good addition. What's another one? Zinc. There are so many studies showing that a lack of zinc, just plain old-fashioned zinc. Like, we don't sell just zinc at Young Living. We don't got just that. But plain old zinc, what it can do for making your body more sensitive to the foods that you eat, so that our cells we just got to get them where they'll wake up and they'll let the insulin in. That's all we have to do. And zinc is one of those that helps with that. It's been shown, your A1C. That's what I keep trying to say. It's been shown over a 3-month period increasing that. Now, you don't need a ton. You need bibbits. People go like hardcore and all this stuff, and you don't just take whatever the minimum is on the bottle of the one that you grab. It will give your body. And zinc does 1,000 other things as well, so it's a good one. And then, I always pronounce this wrong, berberine. Berberine is one, I have it right here to show you. I'm not saying this is like the brand to get. I just got it off of Facebook. And this is, how many grams? 1,200 milligrams. And this works on the same action. Again, not a Young Living product, but it works on the same action as metformin. So what metformin, that whole class does, is it makes it where we're not absorbing as much glucose out of the food that we're eating, and it just takes it out of the body. And so in addition to, it's helping our cells be more receptive. So it's taking some of that. So you know you're going to have a baked potato at your cookout, or you're going to eat corn on the cob, or you know you're going to do something. This is one that you can do just to prepare. And it's also something you could do every night before bed. Just making sure you're getting it, because it's going to help. So this isn't something that you need if your blood sugar is perfectly perfect in every way. But I figured if the drugs that they gave me when I was in the hospital could, it spiraled so quickly. I was on an IV pump because my blood sugar went so high, so crazy. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I must have been really close to having issues. Because if I wasn't, it couldn't have skyrocketed up to where it was. Don't know my numbers. I was too sick to care. I had other things going on. But just things to think about. Cinnamon. Y'all, you know you have seen the studies on cinnamon and what it can do for your blood sugar. So just incorporate it in. So do I know that all of these work 100%? Nope. I don't know. I know that I don't need anything for my blood sugar. I know that my blood sugar is perfectly perfect now. I've been out of ICU for a year and a half, 2 years maybe by this point, year and a half. And my blood sugar is perfect. My A1C is perfect. All of the things are perfect. I don't take any pharmaceuticals for it. I just took any little pieces of science that I seen that said this might help. And I thought, you know what? I'll incorporate that. This might help. I'll incorporate that. I was doing fasting because I do have scar tissue in my lungs from all of the being on the vent for so long. It damaged my lungs. I was on oxygen, all kinds of stuff. So I was fasting for that. But byproduct, side effect, It helped my cells to be more sensitive. It gave my pancreas a break so that it could start kicking out all of the enzymes. Your pancreas does so much more than just insulin. That's all it gets credit for, but it does so much more. A couple other real quick ones. Fenugreek. Fenugreek has been shown to be able to help. Guyama, Jimana. I'm going to spell it for you so you can look it up. Gymnema. I'll say it again. Gymnema. Phenomenal for blood sugar. It's another one that I took regularly. Now this is pretty much the only one that I do that's not Young Living, that I take on a regular basis, just because it doesn't have any negative. All of the, not that the other ones do. I just don't need all of them layered on. I still do apple cider vinegar too, but I was doing that beforehand. So those are just some of the lifestyle things that you can add in, because you always want to go diet first. But then Young Living does have some stuff that really helps with, because it's an energy problem, right? The glucose can't get to the cell to be burned for fuel. You have no energy. Your body goes, if I just eat a little something, I'll get energy. So I want to talk about some things you can do to regain that energy and feel good, because we're supposed to feel good. We're supposed to be energetic. We're supposed to be able to get all the things we have to get done and still be able to do the fun things. So there's some things that you can try. One of the things that you might want to try is our nitro. It's I have like nothing in here for this class today, but this is the box of nitro. It's empty. And what this one does, it says on the container, cognitive health. So this is also for thought, for clarity. But what this does is it gives us that boost of energy we're supposed to have naturally through vitamins, through nutrients, through all those little parts and pieces. And this is one that you could take at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon when you're feeling you need that bump, or you want to reach for a coffee and all the sugar-laden stuff you put in your coffee. You could grab one of these instead. So first thing in the morning, have one in the afternoon, then you're going to find a sustained energy. So this isn't just like a caffeine supplement. It's nothing like that. This is vitamin B12. This is chocolate essential oil, wolfberry essential oil. They're just all in a wonderful container to be able to help you get that boost. And then we have something called MindWise. And our MindWise, Mary Young wanted it to be called Cardio Mind, because it's so good for your cardiovascular and for your brain and your thoughts. And this is those good, healthy fats that we keep talking about for absorption, for that burn of fuel, so that we have that energy we're supposed to have. And in that MindWise, there's so many different parts and pieces. There's CoQ10, which is all about your energy. It's all about getting that kick going on again. Then we have our Ninja Red. Ninja Red is, again, it's about getting that energy, those antioxidants, so that our cells are receptive and awake and they're feeling good, so you can burn the fuel, so you can do the things. Then there's some great oils that you can play with. Some are Vitality, some are not. So like we've got Ocotea. Ocotea is an amazing addition. Take that, rub that on your chest, rub that on your belly. Use that one on a regular basis. It's going to help your butt. It's just going to help. It's just going to make you feel better about everything. Then you could do things like coriander. It's a Vitality. Coriander, dill, fennel, thieves. Take all of those in a Vitality blend and put 10 to 15 drops in a spray bottle. And so then mix the rest of that up. You can add V6 in there and then spray it in your mouth. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you is it's a little bit warm. You'll be like, oh, but this is one that when you're having those cravings, when you're like, I literally just ate an hour ago, I can't be hungry, spray this one and it's going to help for you to feel more balanced and even keel, so that you don't feel like you need to nibble on something again. And it does it on two different things. One, the oils themselves are amazing and they're going to do stuff. But two, it's going to taste yucky and you're not going to want to eat anything for a short period of time. I told that to a friend of mine who was was quitting smoking. And I'm like, I don't know that it physically, going to do anything to help you to stop smoking. But once you spray that in your mouth, the flavor is such that you're like, I can't do anything right now, because it is coriander, dill, fennel, thieves. These are strong tastes, and just spray them right in your mouth. Let it just be the thing. Then spray it every time it happens. If 10 minutes later you're like, nope, I'm ready to eat that cake, I'm going to eat spray it, because that cake is going to taste nasty when you try to eat it after having your coriander, dill, fennel, and thieves. I'm just saying, those are great ones that you can play with. But all of this is in addition to the other stuff, making sure that you're doing the changes, making sure that you're changing that lifestyle. What the oils and the nutrients I'm talking about are going to do is going to help you to be able to make the changes. It's going to be able to help you stick to those changes. That's what I'm talking about. Then I want to mention a supplement that is near and dear to my heart, and it is from our Sleek line. And our Sleek line is all about helping your body to adjust, to be able to metabolize the food, to be able to get the energy from the food, and to help us feel satiated. That whole ghrelin leptin we talked about, we have something called our Sleek Slim Caps. I always say it weird. I have to slow down. Sleek Slim Caps. And it's 2 capsules in each little package that you get. And you're going to take those, 30 minutes before breakfast and 30 minutes before your lunch, or you could do it at dinner time as well if you wanted that extra boost. And what they do is they expand, so they fill up so that you feel more satiated quickly, so that 2 cups that I said that we're supposed to have, it's going to help. So 2 cups fills you up, because your stomach does stretch. Like, there's people whose stomachs can hold a whole lot of food. And this is going to help fill that up a little bit. But the stuff that's in there, like you've got your ocotea in there that we just talked about. It's already in there. You've got so many different oils and nutrients that are in there that help us to feel satiated. They help us to know when we're full, so that we don't eat when we shouldn't be eating. There's also an oil capsule in there that's full of so many different oils that help with that balance, that help us to be able to eat our meal, feel content, and then go ahead and not eat until that next meal. So if you're doing some intermittent fasting, y'all, your secret key is our Sleek Slim Caps, because they will help you to feel full. They will help you to feel calm. They will help you to be able to handle that the window when you're not eating. And then add our Sleek tea. First of all, our Sleek tea tastes absolutely delicious, but it is like a peaceful energy. It's really hard to explain. So it is our green tea. It's oolong green tea. And in it, we also have our ocotea leaf in there. We've got chocolate in there. We've got so many different parts and pieces that when you're sipping this between your meals or during your fasting window, you're going to feel satiated. You're going to have the energy to get the things done, but you're going to feel calm. It's not that nervous energy you get. Nope. This is just one that just makes you, it takes care of the cravings. Remember that cycle I said that we get into? It takes care of the cravings. So you don't need that. And then we have our Sleek Essential Oil. Our Sleek Essential Oil, it literally is an oil, and it has a stevia in it. So it has a wonderful flavor. It's got a bunch of different citruses in there. It's got spearmint. It has all these parts and pieces that our body loves, that helps with those cravings. And you can add that to your water. I said I need you drinking more water. That Sleek is beverage enhancement. You can put it in there, and the stevia helps to emulsify it, so it gets through the whole glass of water, so it's not just floating on the top. If you put like your cinnamon vitality in there and it gets on your lips, it's warm because that cinnamon is just floating. Water and oil separate. By putting that stevia in there, it helps to emulsify it, so we're able to drink it and it be throughout the entire glass. And you can add that to your tea, you can add that to your smoothies, you can put a couple drops under your tongue. You can do whatever you want with it. It's a tool for you to use. So get that spray bottle. So spray it when you're getting the cravings, drinking your Sleek tea, using your Sleek essence, all the different things, so that now anything that you're working with your doctor, it's a little easier. That's all I want to give you, is a little easier. I want it to be easier for you to make the changes in your life, so that these are long-term stability, long-term feeling good, feeling strong, because it's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to feel good during the process. So I hope that I covered your questions, and I will definitely look through. Let me glance real quick to see if there's any questions I can answer. I can't read them quick enough. So anyways, I'm going to check out. I will be on later today. I've got another topic that I'm going to do sometime this evening. So if you see me pop on again, pop on, say hi. Again, So glad to have found you. If you found this video because somebody shared it or they tagged you in it or you found it on their page, get back with them and they will be the ones that will help you get all the Young Living products that I mentioned. If you found me by accident, you found me on YouTube or you were searching and looking diligently and you found me, send me a private message, send me an email. My contact information is there and I will help you get all of your stuff started. So good chatting with you. Thanks for taking time. Have a great day.